Hi there, just a selection of a few more lamps. Let's say these lamps are all the same shape, but every one of them is different. Quickly go through. Up first we got what I would call a cheapo. These were obviously sold through the building trade, and that 110 volt. I can show you the time. I'm going to say make this fairly fast because I want to have a look at some more of the unusual things that are upstairs. So I thought I'd start off with something that is even showing the screw cap is of very poor design. It is a cheapo bulb. So, you know, it's got on there GLS, General Lighting Service. Next up, we've got a GEC lamp. Now, get the etch there, hopefully it's showing up. Hold it down on there. You may have noticed I put a bit of a towel down so the stuff don't go by just rolling off. Not that any harm was done, but it's better to do that. There we are, 50 volts. This is the kind of lamp which was probably used in a telephone exchange, somewhere else where low voltage lamps are used. That is what was on the actual little sleeve thing that came with the lamp. It's more or less a warning saying don't plug it into the mains, it would go bang. Next up we have, I'll show you on here, there's instructions here as well, which is obviously for the older cameras and film making. I'm not going to go through each one, and if anyone wants to have a look at that, just pause the video. It's a Philips photo lighter, as it says #1 guide numbers. This is actually a photo flood lamp. Photo flood. Where's the bulb itself? The writing is on the base. Show the base off. So I'm making this a quick video because I want to put some of those other ones up. If you look inside, the filament of these photo flood type lamps are normally a very strong looking filament. There appears to be thicker than a normal lamp of say a 60 watt, which this would be equivalent to, but this lamp's actually 275 watts and will only last a matter of perhaps a few hours alight. But the idea is obviously to give plenty of light to take films. Now next up on the list we've got incandescent 50 volt 60 watt by Philips. I showed this before just as a picture, but now I thought it was only fair to show you the exact lamp. The etch is not very good, that's part of it, but as you can see it's a characteristic filament of these low voltage lamps, 50 volt lamps. A lot of these were made for the inspection lamps. I know at one time you could buy those from any good motorist shop, an inspection lamp which you could use by connecting it up to the car battery of 12 volts. This lamp is not a 12 volt lamp, but the 12 volt lamp looks very much like these with a similar type of filament. But this again 50 volts, could have been used like that GEC one in a telephone exchange, on forms of transport, a ship, something which doesn't use the standard voltage, or emergency power supplies if the mains failed, the emergency would come on, and they were invariably a lower voltage. Right, next up we've got a lamp. Now, I didn't know I had one of these. It's nothing special about the lamp. I don't know if you can see the name. I can barely see the etch. I don't know whether it's showing up. But it's made in Czechoslovakia, and it shows the Tesla name. There's the box it came in. One time these were quite popular. I remember seeing them in the shops for sale. They were at the time sort of a cheaper lamp which you could get. But this one seems to be perfectly okay. What is interesting to note, the vitrite, see if I can make it show up, is transparent or translucent. It's got like a bluey effect. You get this a lot on German-made lamps. It's like a blue vitrite. Anyhow, there's the lamp. It's never been used, although it's showing a little bit of darkening on the top. This seems to be a standard thing you'd find with lamps that were at the time made behind the Iron Curtain. This is a good example, Tesla. The Tesla name was used on many electrical products of Czechoslovakia. Telephones, switchgear, and it was a very popular name or brand, named after Tesla himself. The Wizard of New York, not New York, America, the Wizard of America, not the Wizard of Menlo Park. Anyhow, I'm not going to go on to the politics again. The last one in this little batch is a name I've never come across. Greenstock Lamp Company, long life. Now this is rather interesting. X life, so it's 16 times longer than a normal lamp, long life. Now I suppose if you had an awkward to get at light fitting, say in a factory or an office, you could use one of these lamps. Now of course now they are not used, or they're out of date, but nevertheless they were at one time used. And here's the lamp itself. The shape is more or less the same shape, although it is slightly different. There, the shape there's more like a sort of a Mazda type of shape. We've got a very good etch. I'll hold it steady so it shows up. Now, how they achieve last a long time, the filament, you can see if you just look inside there, is what I would call a rough surface filament, but it has got quite a few support wires. I can't count them exactly, but it's a well made or well constructed filament, and it's also run at lower temperature, so the lamp is not as bright as one that is, I would say, a normal lamp, and that is how they achieve it. So 60 watt. This one, funny enough, is made in the EEC, according to the thing, not in China. So, you know, it's interesting, but that would be for lamps that would want to be put up somewhere and left without having the trouble of changing them for a much longer time. Whether they do last 16 times, I don't know. I know the old rough surface lamps used to last a long time, and in the old days a lot of people used them above fish tanks Reason being, they were vacuum, they didn't get hot or didn't get extremely hot, and the light, which was not completely white, it was more of this sort of orangey light, was ideal for the plants to grow in an aquarium and not getting hot. They didn't crack if they were splashed with water. Anyhow, this will do for these few. As I say, I was asked to put bulbs up. I'm hoping that is okay, and hoping that the person that asked me will look at these, which I know he will. Seems to me he's very keen, where you all are. So once again, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and see what's upstairs, so I'll put something up a bit different. These ones were a bit what I would call ordinary, but with different type of lamps, but they look the same. Anyhow, thanks again. Any comments please make, and I'll get back to you, which I'm trying to do now. I was a little bit behind in giving my answers to a lot of people across the board, really. The bulbs, the plants, anything else, telephones, so I answered a lot yesterday, so I'm going to try and keep up to date. Anyhow, thanks again for watching, and we'll see what turns up next. There'll be something, I think. So thanks again. Thank you.